For decades, television and film broadcast a specific version of the American dream to the world, a land of vast opportunity and dramatic professional growth. But actually moving to the United States reveals a more complicated reality. Beneath the surface of that cinematic promise lies an unwritten manual for everyday survival. Newcomers are consistently blindsided by four invisible pillars of daily life: a relentless work culture, a highly privatized healthcare maze, extreme car dependency, and rigid, unspoken financial rules. Thriving in the US requires mastering these high-stakes, overlapping systems. Let's start with how Americans work. Unlike the UK or Australia, the US has no federal mandate for paid time off. The boundary between office and home is porous, prioritizing what corporate culture calls work-life integration. This chart compares average annual working hours. The average American works roughly 1,750 hours a year, nearly 400 hours more than European peers. Because of this extreme differential, the US consistently ranks near the bottom of the Global Life-Work Balance Index. Even when companies do offer 10 to 15 days of paid leave, there is a widespread cultural phenomenon known as vacation hesitation. Employees routinely leave their allotted days unused, driven by pressure to remain visible and competitive. Yet, this demanding environment exists alongside unique professional perks. White-collar roles frequently offer a high degree of autonomy, remote flexibility, and compensation levels that are rarely matched in other markets. The American professional landscape operates as a high-yield transaction. Employees trade their personal time and boundaries in exchange for career acceleration and financial reward. Outside the office, the most jarring adjustment is the American healthcare system. Instead of a universal public service, medical care operates as a premium network, largely tied to your employer. The financial burden falls on the individual through a tiered system. You pay a monthly premium just to have insurance, a deductible you must pay out of pocket before coverage kicks in, and coinsurance, the percentage of the final bill you still owe. This line graph plots the steep, upward trajectory of employer-sponsored family healthcare premiums. By 2025, the average annual cost to insure a family surged past $25,000, and those costs are climbing, with employers projecting an additional 6.7% annual increase. These steep expenses drive behavioral shifts. The looming threat of medical debt forces roughly a third of American adults to postpone or skip necessary medical care. A primary driver behind these premium hikes is the price of specialty pharmaceuticals. Biologic therapies are highly complex medical treatments, manufactured from living organisms. This dynamic creates an insurance death spiral. As premiums rise, younger, healthier individuals are priced out of the market. This leaves behind a sicker pool of insured patients, forcing costs even higher. Navigating American healthcare is a defensive financial skill, essential for protecting personal wealth. Finding a place to live presents its own challenges. A housing deficit, combined with high mortgage rates, often pushes residents into vast, disconnected residential zones. This suburban sprawl enforces absolute car dependency. Because expansive public transit infrastructure is rare outside of a few major cities, 87 Tory personal expense. If you manage the commute, you still have to navigate the invisible financial heartbeat of every US resident, the credit score. A credit score is a 3-digit number calculated by private bureaus that represents your historical reliability in repaying debts. Without a localized credit history, newcomers are immediately locked out of basic necessities. You can have significant wealth abroad, but with a US credit score of 0, it's nearly impossible to rent an apartment or set up utilities. Then there is the daily friction of purchasing goods. Because of sales taxes and tipping cultures, the price displayed on a shelf or a menu almost never matches the final cost at the register. Successful financial integration in the US requires understanding and playing by this rigid set of local rules from the moment you arrive. Yet millions of people still make a move every year. They do so because the scale of the US economy offers a ceiling for individual success that is difficult to find anywhere else. The geographic vastness and sheer diversity of the country allow for an incredible degree of entrepreneurial freedom. It is a market that naturally absorbs new ideas and makes cultural integration highly achievable. That vastness also means the country offers a climate and community for almost any lifestyle preference, from dense urban centers to coastal retreats. When you weigh the heavy systemic costs of healthcare, transit, and an intense work culture against the raw economic data, a clear picture emerges. Americans consistently enjoy the highest average household incomes in the world. Living in the USA is a high-maintenance transaction. It trades systemic ease for a direct path to wealth and a highly specific kind of professional mobility.